With him we win. He's our champion. With him we can't lose. We always win. He's our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands. We lift our voice. We celebrate our champion. We sing hallelujah for the King who is victorious. Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, we lift our hands. We lift our voice. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, Yahuwah is the awesome Yah, and there is none like you. With you we win. You're our champion. With you we can't lose. We always win. You're our champion. Oh, worthy is our Savior. Let us do the Baruch. Repeat with me. Baruch Yahuwah.
Baruch Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
Baruch is Yahuwah.
The Baruch one.
The Baruch one.
For all eternity.
For all eternity.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the universe.
Who selected us from all the peoples.
Who selected us from all the people.
And gave us his Torah.
And gave us his Torah.
Baruch atah.
Baruch Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Our supreme one.
Our supreme one.
King of the universe.
King of the
Who
universe.
gave us the Torah of truth.
Who gave us the Torah of truth.
And then planted eternal life within us.
And implanted eternal life within us.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah.
Giver of the Torah.
Giver of the Torah.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Yahusha, chapter 1, verse 7 and 8. No, we're going to read the commandments, and then we're going to go into the commandments first, and then we're going to go into Yahusha. Devarim chapter 5, verses 6 through 22. And it reads, Aleph, I am Yahuwah, your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim from the bed of slavery. Bet you shall have no other power before me. You shall not make you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in Shemayim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the Mayim beneath the water. You shall not bow down yourselves unto power, unto any of them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah, your power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the Abbas upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, that ahaba me, and keep my commandments. Gimel, you shall not take the name of Yahuwah your power and falsify it. Falsify it, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that takes his name and empties it. Dalet, guard the Sabbath day to set it apart as Yahuwah your power has commanded you. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the of Yahuwah, your power. In it you shall not do any work, nor you, your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your foreigner that is within your gates, that your manservant and maidservant may rest as well as you. And remember that you were a servant in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your power brought you out of there through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore, Yahuwah your power commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. And it is so.
And it is so.
Esteem your Abba and your Ema as Yahuwah your power has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with you in the land which Yahuwah your power is about to give you. While you shall not murder, Zayin, neither shall you commit adultery. 19, Ket, neither shall you steal. Tet, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor. Yud, neither shall you desire your neighbor's wife, neither shall you covet your neighbor's bed, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words Yahuwah spoke unto all your assembly in the mount of the mist, of the fire, of the cloud, of the thick darkness with a great voice, and he added no more, and he wrote them in 2 tablets of stone, and delivered them unto me. And it is so.
And it is so.
And it is so. Yahusha, chapter 1, verses 7 and 8, the son of Nun. And it reads, only be you strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the Torah which Moshe my servant commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. Verse 8, as I have tailored it to fit our time of confession, repeat with me. I will not let this scroll of the Torah depart out of my mouth, but I shall meditate in it day and night, that I may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then I shall make my way prosperous and act wisely. Now look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, and you shall act wisely, and you shall act wisely. Look at your other neighbor, tell your other neighbor, and you shall wisely, and you shall act wisely. Now take your hand and place your hand over your heart and say, Abba Yah, I shall act wisely. Come on. Abba Yah, I shall act wisely. I endeavor to act wisely. I endeavor to act wisely. Come on. I endeavor to act wisely. And it is so. Luke 18 and 1 says, men are to always pray and not faint. The Bre Hayem Bet 7:14, which is Corinthians 7 and 14. If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from Shemaim, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. Now my eyes shall be open, and my ears attentive to the prayer that is made in this place. For now have I chosen and set apart this house, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall always be there. And as for you, if you will walk before me as Dawood, your Abba, walked, and do according to all that I have commanded you, and shall observe my statutes and my judgments. And it is so. And it is so. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 1 through 14. Through 18. These are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah your power commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you are going to enter and possess it, that you might fear Yahuwah your power to keep all his statutes, his commandments, which I command you, you and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Yisrael, observe and do it, that it may be well with you and that you might increase mightily as Yahuwah power of your Abbas has promised you in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our supreme one, Yahuwah is a God. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah is our Savior, Yahuwah is a God. And you shall ahaba Yahuwah your supreme one with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your bed, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, to fall, bind to the mind. And shall write them upon the posts of your bed, and on your write them upon the posts of your bed and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahuwah your power shall have brought you into the land which he swore to your Abbas, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Yaakov, to give you great and beautiful cities which you did not build, and houses full of all great things which you filled not, and wells dug which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you did not plant. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware lest you forget Yahuwah which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the bed of slavery. You shall fear Yahuwah your power and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after the power of the people which are round about you. For Yahuwah your power is a jealous power among you, lest his anger be kindled against you and destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not tempt Yahuwah your power as you tempted him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahuwah your power and his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right and great in the sight of Yahuwah, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the great land which Yahuwah swore unto your Abbas, and it is so. And it is so. Tehillim 63 and 1. Excuse me, to verse 11. And it reads, O power, you are my power. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where no mayim is, to see your power and your beauty, so as I have seen you in the sanctuary. Because your loving kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise you. Thus will I baruch you while I live. I will lift up my hands in your name. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, and my mouth shall praise you with joyful lips, when I remember you upon my bed. Excuse me. And meditate on you in the night watch. Because you have been my help, therefore in the shadow of your wings will I rejoice. My soul pursues you. Your right hand upholds me. But those that seek my soul to destroy it shall go into the lower parts of the earth. They shall fall by the sword. They shall be eaten by the jackals. But the king shall rejoice in Yahuwah. Everyone that swears by him shall see beauty, but the mouth of them that speak lies shall be stopped, and it is so. Yehukin and Moshiach, which is Mark 11:24, says, Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them, and it is so. And it is so. As this is our time, as we have gathered together, you may kneel, you may stand before him, but as we come together to release our belief into the atmosphere, unto Abba Yah's heart, that we may receive our petition and our request from him in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, and it is so. Let us go before Abba Yah in prayer. Abba Yah, in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach, as we stand before you this great rising, we ask that you forgive us of any and all sin, blot out our transgressions, that there be nothing between us and thee. As we stand before you this great and we offer up our sacrifice, a sacrifice of praise and our petition of prayer unto you. We petition you for the lives and for the health of our people, the children, the mishpachah of Yisrael. As we stand before you this great rising, Abba Yah, before we do anything, we come acknowledging you, the author and finisher of our belief, asking that you would orchestrate and order our footsteps. For you said if we acknowledge you in all our ways, you would direct our path. And as this is a new day and a new season for us, as we have great anticipation and expectation of that which you're going to say and do, we ask, Abba Yah, that you would give us ears to hear, eyes to see, and a heart to perceive your truth. As we stand before you this great rise, we offer up praise unto you, Abba Yah. We offer up thanksgiving unto you, for we know, Abba Yah, without you we cannot make it. We know that if you would not be in our lives, we would not be able to stand. We would not be able to make it and move to the next chapter of our lives. As we stand here before you this great rising, we cry out to you, Abba Yah, for the unity of our mishpachah, the unity, Abba Yah, of your people. As we stand before you this great rising, we ask that you will wash us and cleanse us, immerse us afresh in your truth. As we stand before you this great rising, offering up ourselves unto you in a time of fasting and a time of prayer. As we commit ourselves this day to fasting and to prayer, we ask, Abba Yah, that our voices would be heard on high, and that our petition and request would be made known unto you, and that you would grant us the desires of our heart. As we stand before you this great rising, Abba Yah, I ask for strength for your people. I ask that you would strengthen us from the crown of our head to the very sole of our feet. I ask, Abba Yah, that you would give us a heart of flesh and take out that stony flesh, that heart that's made of stone. I ask, Abba Yah, that you would cause us to look into the perfect law of liberty, which is your instructions, and see our flaws and see our mistakes, that we're able to get right with you. So there'll be no hidden agenda, nothing hidden on the inside, no spots, no wrinkle, no blemishes, so that as you return to get us, your children, the children of power, we will have nothing in our lives that will prevent us from making that move and going with you. I ask right now, Abba Yah, in the mighty name of your son, Yahushua HaMashiach, as we stand before you this great day, this day, Abba Yah, that we offer praise to you, that we offer up prayer to you. This day, Yom Shalishi, a day that you have commanded us, Abba Yah, to seek you. A day that you commanded us to esteem you, Abba Yah, every day of our lives as you've given unto us. We told you, Abba Yah, for the breath that you've given unto us, the HaKodesh. We ask, Abba Yah, that you would breathe into us and help us truly to maintain our consistency, that we dare not falter, fumble, or stumble as we continue to move forward in you, and as we continue to open our hearts up to know your way and to know your will for our lives. Abba Yah, I stand praying for those that have loved ones, Abba Yah, that are in that have a family that are in situations that they need healing and deliverance. I call out their names this great rising for Mr. Lewis, Abba Yah, that you would grant him mercy and grant him healing for his body. I pray for the family that they will stick together, and that this will be a time that they begin to show others their belief in you and their belief in the Torah. I ask, Abba Yah, that this would be a time that the Mishpachah will come together and truly begin to resolve any unresolved issues and come together and be of a cause. I pray, Abba Yah, for those that are in Fiji. I pray for those that are walking in truth for their strength, and for those that need strength, and for those that don't know or continue to reject your truth. I pray this great rising, Abba Yah, that you would open up their hearts and minds, that they would be able to perceive and receive your instructions for their lives. I pray for those that are scattered, those of us that are scattered to the four extremities. I pray for those that are in Florida, for those that are in Georgia, for those that are in Houston, Texas, for those that are in Washington, D.C., for Maryland, Baltimore, for those that are in Abba Yah, for those that are in Yisrael, for those, Abba Yah, that are in Dimona, for those, Abba Yah, that are in Dali, for those, Abba Yah, that are in Dubai, for those, Abba Yah, that are in North Korea, those that are in South Korea, areas over there. I pray this great rising, Abba Yah, that you will cause us to hear your clarion call, the call that you have made for us to repent and turn back to you, that we will walk in covenant as you have called us to. Abba Yah, for those that are in South and North Carolina, for those, Abba Yah, that are in Kansas City, Arizona, Kentucky, Abba Yah, for those, Abba Yah, that are in places scattered around the world. I pray, Abba Yah, that you will cause us to hear the same, know the same, and perceive that which you're saying unto us on the same, Abba Yah, that we will be able to walk in the truth and walk as one and not be scattered all abroad, as we're already scattered to the four extremities. But we will come together and unite and not fight one another, but the enemy of our belief. I pray, Abba Yah, that as this is a time of fasting for some of us, that when we turn down our plates, that we will give you that time time undisrupted, tampered with, but a time that we focus on you, putting down our phones, turning off the TV, turning off whatever it is that will be a distraction, and focus on you this great rising, that we may get your attention and that we may hear from you, Abba Yah, and know your will for our lives. As we continue to make preparations, Abba Yah, for Peshat, I told you for the correct day, the correct time, that we will be in the right timing and the right season as you have given it to us. In the season of bid, when the spring begins, I ask Abba Yah that you would teach us and show us how to know when the season begins and when the season is up, that we dare not miss what it is that you desire to do with us, your people. Help us to understand and interpret your words and your writings in the right manner. Give us the Ruach Kodesh as you did unto them on the day of Shabbat, that we will be able to understand your way and understand your language, so we know how to perceive the actions that you would have for us, Abba Yah, in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach, that we cannot be carried away with every cunning wind and every sleight of hand and every word that comes across, that we would be sensitive to the Ruach Kodesh and know when to move and when not to move, know when to engage and when not to engage, know how to understand your writings and be able to interpret them in the right manner, Abba Yah. I ask this great rising that you would lead and guide us as we continue to seek your heart, to know your way for our lives. I pray this great rising, Abba Yah, as we continue to move forward and continue to seek you on a day-to-day basis, that we may know your instructions and guidance for our hearts. Help us not to abort the mission. Help us not to become weary and well-doing. Help us not to become frustrated with the cares of this life. Help us not to become frustrated with those that are around us and those that are close to us. Help us not to become frustrated, but help us, Abba Yah, to maintain a posture of prayer, a posture of fasting, that we may truly hear from you. As we come to you, Abba Yah, purge our hearts, purge our minds of all impurities, everything that's not like you, that we may truly be a people dedicated and sold out to you, Abba Yah. Wash us on today. Wash us this great rising with your Torah, that we will be clean inside and out. I ask, Abba Yah, that you would give us ears to hear, so that we'll all be hearing the same thing and that we'll be all in the same vein and not be all over the place. I ask, Abba Yah, in the mighty name of Yahushua HaMashiach, as we stand before you this great rising, for those that have family members of Mishpachah that are incarcerated, I ask, Abba Yah, for your mercy and your covering, that you would continue to keep them covered and continue to give them an ear to hear your word and your way and no other voice, that they would not give heed to those seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, that they will maintain their walk in you and maintain an ear, even those that have not fully come into the truth, but yet they know the truth and they know this is your way. Help them not to be swayed or tempted in the manner that they cannot resist, but give them that strength where they're able to stand up, Yah, and reject the ignorance and the temptation to fall and to go astray and fall deeper into that what is not right. I pray, Abba Yah, that you will give them that stamina and give that strength, that even when it comes time for them to make choices and decisions, that they won't go towards the left, but that they will maintain that place and maintain a place of study, so that they will know your will and no other way but your way. I pray this great rising, Abba Yah, for those that are seeking employment, for those that are seeking businesses, that for entrepreneurship, and for those that already have it but are in a dry spell. I pray, Abba Yah, as we continue to watch the season, as we continue to watch what you do. We told you, Abba Yah, for our winter crop. We told you, Abba Yah, that the winter crops will come and that we'll be able to harvest those things. I told you, Abba Yah, as you continue to preserve us and put us in a place, oh Abba Yah, to learn and to be able to move according to your will and your way for our lives. I pray this great rising, Abba Yah, for those that are suffering with ailments in their bodies, diseases, and those that are acidic in their bodies. Help us, Abba Yah, to alkaline our bodies. Help us to make the right meals and drink the right things, so that our bodies will be able to purge itself, because it is pushing out all that which is not like you. truly be a people that are healthy, not just healthy in our ruach, but healthy in our physical man. I told you, Abba Yah, for those of us that desire to lose weight, giving us discipline and showing us how we can apply even the Torah to these very things in our lives so that we can truly prove and be that what is right and excellent in your sight. Help us, Abba Yah, to be mindful of the time that we are in and mindful of the things that we ought to be doing. Help Abba Yah to know when to engage and when not to. Help us, Abba Yah, to always pray and not faint and keep one another up in prayer. Help us, Abba Yah, to never become slanderous and never become boastful, but help us to maintain that place of humility and understanding humility is not poverty, but humility is knowing how to know what we know and still walk humble before you and before your mishpachah, our mishpachah. Help us, Abba Yah, to understand that we are a God and that we are not divided, but we are a God. Help us to understand what the mission of Yahushua HaMashiach was and is through us as your chosen, as the chosen of power. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing and that what you've done. I ask, Abba Yah, that you will breathe on us and in us the Ruach Kodesh, so that we will know what to do and how to do it. Give us innovative ideas. Help us to bring forth the ideas that we have, to give birth to those things, Abba Yah, that will truly be a root to the kingdom and to the children of power. I ask, Abba Yah, for those things that have incubated and they have stayed on the inside of our Ruah for such a time as this. Put us in the path of the right ones. Put us in the path and in the minds and in the hearts of those, Abba Yah, that we may truly connect and become a card, that we may help one another and push one another. Help us truly, Abba Yah, to support our own. Help us, Abba Yah, not to be afraid to support one another, and help us to truly, if we have a situation or a grievance with one another, that we go to one another and we deal with it in a proper, mature manner. I pray, Abba Yah, in this season that we are still in, as we're still in the season of winter, help us, Abba Yah, that those things that die out in our lives, let them stay dead. Help us, Abba Yah, not to bring forth the right temperature or the right time for those things to kickstart and grow some more in our lives. But help us to uproot those things that are not like you. Help us to cast down evil imagination that would exalt itself against the knowledge of who you are. Help us, Abba Yah, not to have tickling ears and heaping to ourselves teachers because we want to hear that what tickles us, but not what challenges us. Help us, Abba Yah, this great rising to truly have a cry down on the inside of our Ruah, not just a warrior's cry, but a cry, Abba Yah, for your truth. Help us, Abba Yah, not to stray from the purpose that you have woke us up for. Help us not to stray, Abba Yah, but help us to stay and remain committed. Toda Abba Yah, for removing those things and people out of our lives that would be a distraction unto us. Those that are wolves in sheep's clothing that desire to come and dismember us and pull us apart and divide us. Help us, Yah, to have the ruach of discernment. Help us to be able to discern what is right and what is false. Help us to be able to discern what is fool's gold and what is real gold. Help us, Abba Yah, to have a heart to do what you have commissioned us to do in the midst of a Torahless generation. Help us not to give up on our mishpachah. Help us not help us, Abba Yah. Help us this great rising. Those that have heavy hearts and heavy minds, those that are struggling, Abba Yah, to maintain. But every day it seems like something else pops up and rises up. Give your people, our people, strength this great rising. That when things pop up, we will be able to rise above it and keep on moving. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing, mending relationships, mending mishpachah, mending bodies. I told you, Abba Yah, for your healing, for you said healing is the children's bread. For those that are suffering with lupus, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, for anorexia, for those that are suffering with obesity, for those that are suffering mentally and emotionally, economically, Abba Yah, educationally wise. I pray this great rising, Abba Yah, that you would bring temperance and balance into our lives, that we would use wisdom so that we will be able to move and be the people that you're calling us to be in great rising. I pray, Abba Yah, this great rising, that you will grant us the petition of our hearts, and that is to harbor you with all our hearts, all our minds, and with all our souls, and to know that we're doing all that you've commissioned us to do. I told you, Abba Yah, for giving us a voice in the midst of your people, whether 2, 3, or 1. I told you, Abba Yah, for giving us a voice in the midst of your people, that they will hear and they will listen and that they won't faint, Abba Yah. I told you for what you're doing, what you've done, and what you're yet going to do. I told you, Abba Yah, for the power to overcome this world, and that we dare not be entangled with the cares of this life. Neither shall we be conformed to it, but we will be transformed by the renewing of our mind. I told you, Abba Yah, that we will not abort the mission, and that we will not get off of your potter's wheel as you continue to develop us and continue to shape and mold us to be the people that you would have us to be. That when the world looks upon us, they will see wisdom, and they will see that we are your children, the children of power, because of how we govern ourselves, because of how we speak, Abba Yah. Help us, Abba Yah. Help us, help us, help us. I pray even for the connections, Abba Yah, that you're bringing forth unto this ministry. I told you for the 12 tribes, Abba Yah. I told you for them and for the relationship that you are causing us to forge based in and upon the Torah. I told you, Abba Yah, for those that are in other places, Abba Yah, that you are causing us to forge relationships in and around and upon the Torah. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing and that what you've done. I told you for strength. I told you, Abba Yah, for that which you placed on the inside of each one of us. I told you, Abba Yah, for grooming us and preparing us for the Torah. I told you, Abba Yah, that we have something that nobody else has, and that is your instructions. I told you, Abba Yah, that we are the natural habitation for the Torah. And as you clean us up, help us, Abba Yah, every day to apply more and more of the Torah to our lives, that we will truly be all that you're calling us to be, and that we will truly be examples and see the tangibility and the manifestation of your Torah in our lives. I pray, Abba Yah, for the mishpachah, the younger mishpachah, that you will keep them safe, keep them, Abba Yah, that they don't stray. Help us stay focused, even your young men, Abba Yah, men of Torah, sons of Torah. I pray, Abba Yah, for the daughters of Torah, for the women of Torah, that we won't lose focus and that we will maintain our consistency, Abba Yah, and that we will continue to seek you with our whole heart and whole minds, Abba Yah. I told you this day for that what you're doing. I told you, Abba Yah, for Yisrael Kwam, that as we continue to Kwam, I told you for power that you will release unto us, that we may truly be that which you called us to be, that we would give answers to the questions that have been asked for so many years, that you will cause us to walk in that wisdom, that when a question arises, that they will turn to us, the children of power, and we will be able to answer it, not based upon our own volition, not based upon our own theories and ideology, but based upon your Torah. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing and that what you're yet going to do. I told you, Yah, for you three, as you have groomed them and as you have brought us to this place and such a time as this. I told you, Abba Yah, that it shall go global, not because we want fame and fortune, but because of the hearts and the lives that will be transformed by this music, new sound. I told you, Abba Yah, help us stay committed. Help us not to lose sight and lose focus. Help us to maintain our commitment to you. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing and that what you've done. I speak total healing to your people. Those that suffer with migraines, Abba Yah, help us to pinpoint the problem. Help us not to go around it and be all over the place, but help us to pinpoint the root of it so that we can deal with it and walk in your shalom and in your healing. I told you, Abba Yah, for that what you're doing. this great blessing. In the mighty name of Yahushua, Mashiach, and it is so. And it is so. Let us have our soul, please. We have come this far by belief, leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, 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 can't turn around. We come far by belief. We have come this far by belief. Leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, I turn around. We come this far, I believe. We have come this far, I believe. Leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, can't turn around. We've come this far, I believe. We have come this far, I believe. Leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, can't turn around. We've come this far, I believe. We have come this far, I believe. Leaning on Yahuwah, trusting in the Torah. He's never failed me yet. Oh, can't turn around. We come this far by belief. Come on, Baruch him, Baruch him. Mishnah 15 and 8, the sacrifices of the wicked is an abomination, hateful, and exceedingly offensive unto you, Abiyah. But the prayer of the upright, it is your delight. Mishnah 3 and 4, so shall you find great understanding and high esteem in the sight of judgment of Yahuwah and man. Excuse me. Tehillim 34 and 15, the eyes of Yahuwah are upon the upright, and his ears are open unto our cry. Verse 17, the upright cry, and Yahuwah heareth and delivereth us out of all our troubles. Acts 1 and 8, but we shall receive power after that the Ruach HaKodesh is come upon us, and we shall be witnesses unto him, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Shamar and unto the uttermost part of the earth. And it is so. Tehillim 1 and 1, Baruch is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the unrighteous, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the instructions of Abiyah, and he doth meditate upon it, and it is so. Ephraim 11 and 6, which is Hebrews 11 and 6. But without belief it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to Yahuwah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And it is so. And it is so. Yehukin and Aleph chapter 5 verse 4 and 5. But whatsoever one of you who overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our belief. Who is he that overcometh the world? But he that believeth that Yahusha is the son of Yahuwah. Yehukin and Aleph, chapter 2, verse 5 and 6, and it reads, for whoever keeps his word, truly the Ahava of Yahuwah is perfected in him. By this we know that we are in him. He who says he abides in him ought himself also to walk as he walked. Verse 17, and the world passes away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahuwah abideth forever. Somebody say abideth forever.
Abideth forever.
Say it again, abideth forever.
Abideth forever.
And it is so. And it is so. Let us have one more song before we close out. The song before I came in that I heard in the back, hallelujah, just a little bit of that. You remember that? Hallelujah, you have won the victory. Hallelujah, you have won it all for me. Death could not hold you down. You are the risen King, seated in majesty. You are the risen King. Hallelujah, you have won the victory. Hallelujah, you have won it all for me. Death could not hold you down. You are the risen King, seated in majesty. You are the risen King. Hallelujah, you have won the victory. Hallelujah, you have won it all for me. Death could not hold you down. You are the risen King, seated in majesty. You are the risen King. Hallelujah, you have won the victory. Hallelujah, you have won it all for me. Death could not hold you down. You are the risen King, seated in majesty. You are the risen King. Hallelujah, you have won the victory. Come on, let it know, let it know. Hallelujah, you have won it seated in majesty. You are the risen King. Come on, Baruch Him, He is our King. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. He is our risen King. Yahushua is our King. Hallelujah. And Yahuwah of kings. And we do Baruch Him on this great. Once again, we want to say Torah to you for being a part of this, our time of great rising, a time of early prayer. I want to say to you, may Yahuwah Baruch you and keep you throughout the day as we've come to this portion of our time where we seal our time of prayer and also our time of confession as we've come together at this part. Once again, I want to say to you, may Yahuwah Baruch you throughout the day. May He keep you safe and may He keep you in His mercy and His greatness throughout the day. That He will keep you focused and that you would hear His voice and that you would see the Torah manifested in your life. Once again, we want to say to you, we harbor you and we're praying with you and for you. Once again, today we will have noonday prayer. We won't go on live, but around that time, just join wherever you are with us. And then, Yahuwah willing, tonight at 7:45, we'll be in our Higher Heights and Deeper Depths Torah study, where we are talking about the timeline of Yahushua. So I want to invite you to be a part of what we're doing. Once again, we harbor you and we pray with you and for you. Now, as we come to this portion of our time of confession and to seal our prayer at this time. Repeat with me as we bow before our King, please. May the utterance of my mouth and the deliberation of my heart be desirable before you. O Yahuwah, my rock and my redeemer. May the utterance of my mouth and the deliberation of my heart be desirable before you. O Yahuwah, my rock and my redeemer. And it is so. We have just recited Tehillim 19 and 10. Once again, I want to say to you, may Abba Yah Baruch Atah keep you in His shalom. And we meet again. I am Prophetess Brown, also Moral 777, and I want you to stay encouraged this great day. Once again, this is the day that Abba Yah has made, and we shall rejoice in it. Once again, I am Prophetess Brown, also Moral 777, and I want you to know I am the leader of Messengers of Yahuwah's Kingdom of Great Belief Ministries located in South Carolina. I want you to remember here at Messengers of Yahuwah's Kingdom of Great Belief Ministries, this is the place where
the Torah does the body excellent.
And it is so. Also, I want you to remember that you've been touched by Champion TV, a place where the champions reside. And it is so.